to prove to you. And in nutrition, this is especially easy to do because there are so many divergent findings in the scientific literature. So any documentarian could just go searching for studies that support their position and then piece it together into a narrative that feels very convincing to the viewer. You can contrast this with actual scientific literature, where the goal isn't to prove any given position, but rather to collect evidence and draw conclusions based on whatever the data says, whether it supports your bias or not. Also, just because something is on television or on Netflix or even has a bunch of views on YouTube doesn't mean it's reliable. Generally, this sort of reach just comes from whether or not the content is emotionally appealing enough to attract a broad audience, and that tends to come with a lot of bias. So rather than turning to Netflix, I'd recommend reading actual research reviews. Now, these aren't free, but they are affordable for what you get, and I'll just put a table up here of the ones that I personally subscribe to, and I'll link them down below as well. And what you'll get from these is information coming directly from the scientific literature as a whole, rather than one producer's point of view that's often twisted to fit a narrative. Okay, and the final mistake